I remember my mom asking me, is it really necessary for you to go? Can't you get any other course in the UK to do? We've got nursing, we've got social science. And then the second shocker that came was the war, which happened when I was in third year. So I think that was the end of my education there.
Yeah. So the war actually happened when you were in Ukraine. Hello viewers, you're welcome to the channel today, and we have a very special guest in the house today that she will be talking to us about her journey through medical school. Without wasting much time, I would like to introduce my special guest to you today. You're welcome to the channel today, and thank you for having the opportunity to come to talk to us and share your journey with us today. Can you introduce yourself to my viewers?
Okay, so before I start, I'd like to say a big thank you to you for giving me this opportunity to share my journey. And I'd like to say a big thank you to your viewers as well, because if not them, we wouldn't be here. You wouldn't plan this whole thing. So my name is Sandra Lane. I am a medical student, as he said. And I don't know if some of you might know me on your socials, because I'm a bit active on YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, because I'm also a YouTuber. What else should I tell them about myself?
So that's amazing. I would also love to know more about, especially your background from where you grew up, and the school you started with.
Okay. So originally, I'm from Ghana and I'm Ashanti. I grew up in Kumasi, and with my basic education, I started school in a school called Pentecost Preparatory School, which is located in Abripor, Kumasi. So that's where I had my basic education through to my junior high school. And then from there to my secondary school. So just to let you know, I've gone to a lot of schools, okay? My whole life has been schooling. So I'm just going to mention some few schools, because I believe they all contributed to shape the person that I am today. So right from junior high school, so I was privileged to write my, is it the BEC? Yeah, the BEC in JHS2. I passed, and then I decided not to go to JHS3. So I had a skip. I went to Angel Educational Complex, senior high school, for just a year. Why? Because I felt like the private school wasn't my thing. I wanted to have a feel of the government school style, because I used to hear a lot about government school, how they nurture people, and not about the punishment and stuff, but I just wanted to have a feel of it, because I believe that's what's going to make me stronger. So I left the private school and went to the government school.
Wow, that's amazing. So if I understand correctly, you did not do 3 years for junior high school. You did 2 years and then wrote the BEC, you passed, and then skipped the third year.
Yeah.
And then went to the senior high school.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not a surprise to me. She's reading medicine then. Right from that young age, you know, she was smart. That's great. So can you tell me a little bit more about your secondary school life, the program you studied, and a little bit more about the program?
Okay. I think right from junior high school, I was really keen on reading science. So this was even the reason why I ended up in a private school rather than a government school, because I know people might ask, why didn't you get the school of your choice? Is that why you went to a private school? Or people might even say, hey, is it because your parents are rich? That's why. No, it's not that. So there's a reason for everything. The school of my choice was the Asantua Girls Senior High School. I got it, but I didn't get the course that I wanted to read, which was science. So that's why I ended up in the private school. So when I got to Sawakese Girls Senior High School, which was the government school, I got the chance to read the science that I wanted. So
That's
that was the
amazing.
course I did.
That's amazing. What program did Yas Antoine offer you?
So they okay, so they offered me home economics, which it's not a bad course, but
Yeah.
it's not my interest. Yeah.
Because if you had read that, probably you wouldn't have continued to read
Exactly.
medicine at this moment,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah. Lynn, can you brief us about your secondary school life and can you tell us more details about the program you read in secondary school that led you to studying medicine at the moment?
Okay. So he called me Dr. Lane. I'm not a doctor yet, but yeah, I'm manifesting it. I'm claiming it. Thank you. So my secondary school life, right from Form 1, so I didn't really know how the course was going to be like. So when I started in private school, I was doing science. So I got the feel of, how it was, but I didn't know how it was going to be in a government school. So I was really calm, just ready to embrace whatever that, came. So I think my electives were chemistry, biology, physics, and elective maths. I know a lot of people didn't like elective maths because it was really difficult, and physics as well. But it will shock you to know that they were my favorite subjects.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really liked physics. It was difficult at the beginning, but I feel like it was the teacher that I got for physics. He made it a bit, easier for me to learn it and to know more about it. I also liked biology because I felt like it had a lot of reading, but I didn't really mind that. I just liked it. Chemistry, I liked chemistry, but not that much. I only liked the practical part of chemistry, but not like the theory part. Yeah, so I think my favorite elective in senior high school was physics and elective maths.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So those two were actually influencing my choice in the career path that I wanted to do. So I had medicine in mind, but at the same time, I had engineering in mind as well because I loved physics and elective maths.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. I quite remember when I was in school, I really hated physics and elective maths. And
Okay.
I loved chemistry and biology.
So that's the opposite of me then.
Yeah. But if you really loved physics and elective maths, it would have really influenced your decision of studying medicine, just as you said. So
Yeah.
if not for medicine, what kind of program would you have option to study?
Okay, so I had biomedical engineering in mind. So even when I had engineering in mind, I still had the passion for medical stuff. So that's why biomedical engineering. I just wanted to attach the two. So that was the plan, that if I don't get medicine today, I might go into biomedical engineering.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great. So, Dr. Lin, can you also tell us about after your secondary school life? Did you do anything to bridge the gap between completing secondary school and then starting your university?
Okay, so for what I remember, I didn't. So I bought what they call, is it awaiting forms or waiting forms? I don't even remember how to call it.
Forms.
Yeah, so I bought that when I was getting ready for my WASI. So right after the WASI, and when the results came, I got admission to KNUST, so Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. I got the admission there to study biological science. I applied for medicine, but I didn't get it. You know how competitive it is to get into medicine, especially when you don't know anyone. So I think in Ghana it's more of who you know, compared to like how well you did. So I couldn't get into the medicine. So I went in to do biological science. So I didn't stay home for long. I think it was right after my senior high school, I just had to go back to school because I just didn't want to stay home for long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing. So you started this whole journey with biological science
Yeah.
at the university. And I think it's a 4-year program, right?
Yeah.
So did you do the whole 4 years?
Right. So unfortunately, I couldn't do the whole 4 years because I had to leave the country and join my parents in the UK when I got to third year.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I was almost through, almost done.
Yeah. So when you got to third year, then you had to come to the UK to
Yeah.
join your parents. So did you had a plan to continue the biological science in the UK, or you completely wanted to ignore it and then do something else?
To be honest, yeah, ever since I started doing that biological science, I never liked it. That is the truth. I never liked it in the sense that I kept asking myself, what am I going to do with this when I'm done? Am I going to be a biology teacher in a senior high school? Or am I going to work in the lab?
Yeah.
I don't want to be stuck in a lab. At the same time, some people say I'm a good teacher, but I do not want to be a teacher.
Okay.
Yeah. So I always saw myself working in the healthcare sector, on the healthcare field. So I just didn't like it. I was just learning it for the knowledge that I would acquire. So when I got the chance to travel, I was really happy because I was like, I think this will be an opportunity for me to change whatever that I was doing and get into a new field. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So the course itself is great, but that you didn't have passion for it, so you didn't really like it, but you were just reading it.
I was just hanging in there.
Yeah, just hanging in there. It's amazing. So can you tell us a little bit more about how, when you go to the UK, things turn around for you? Because I think now you are studying medicine and you are in your third year.
So when I got to the UK, I decided to apply to medicine, but there are some requirements in the UK. It's a bit different, especially when you're not a traditional student. So I had to go through some processes before getting to where I am now. So first and foremost, I had to apply for what is called access to any course that you want to study. So here in the UK, they have access courses. So they are more of a diploma course just to prepare you for the university level.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we got here, my mom and myself, we had to go to some colleges to inquire about how these access courses work. So I did this access course because I didn't have A-levels, which is a requirement for you to go to the university here in the UK. The time I got to the UK, my age, I was a bit old enough not to be able to do A-levels. Because I think here in the UK, they use the aging system for their schooling. So if you pass the age for A-level, you'll not be able to do it. Unless maybe in a private school and you have to pay a lot for it. The alternative is an access course. So yes, I went to Kingston College with my mom, spoke to some of the teachers there, and they guaranteed us that yes, doing an access course would help you get into university to do the course that you want to do. But the information that we lacked was the type of access course to do. I think we were misinformed that access to science will give you the chance to do all the science courses. So I went ahead to do access to science for 1 year.
For a whole 1 year?
Yeah, for 1 year. And the funny part about this whole thing is I got to the middle, so I finished. So let's say if it's a trimester, so 3 terms. When I got to the middle of, I think I finished the second term, going to the third term of the course. That's when I realized that, wait, there is something called access to medicine. Why didn't I hear about that? And why am I doing access to science? But then the teachers had already told us that if you do access to science, you'll be able to do medicine. But then from what I was reading from the internet and all that, most of the medical schools in the UK wanted access to medicine, which was different.
Yeah, not access to science.
Not access to science.
Specifically wanted access to
medicine, exactly. So I was like, have I wasted another year? What is going on? So I think I told my parents about it. My mom was like, you know what, it's fine. You're almost due to like finishing. So just finish it. When you finish, we would decide what to do afterwards. So I finished the Access to Science. I got the diploma. After that, I felt like, should I go and do the Access to Medicine
For another 1 year.
for another 1 year?
Yeah.
I don't know. Time was moving so quick. And so that was when I decided to, move outside the country and see if I could do medicine. So that's like a whole different topic.
Yeah. So viewers, you if you are looking forward to studying medicine, I think you should get some kind of encouragement or motivation from Sandra Lane's,
Whatever you call me.
from Dr. Lane's insights. Because if you are following the story, you realize that he studied 3 years biological science in Ghana. He threw that away completely. She did 1 year access course to science,
yeah.
and she completely had to throw that 1 year. So complete 4 years gone wasted, and she still didn't give up. I think you will be interested to know more about how she finally got to study the medicine. So can you tell us what happened after you finished with access to science and then you realized that you were misinformed?
Right. So at that point, I didn't know what to do. It got me thinking, should I just go in to do any other science course? Because that access to science could get me into pharmacy, nursing, biological science again, biomedical science, like a lot of courses. Even in the UK here, especially when you do biomedical science, you are able to switch to medicine later down the years. Because I have some friends that did that and some that also wanted to do that. So, but then I felt like that was going to be a long route for me.
Yeah, or to start all over again for 4
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. So around that period, I had some friends that were schooling outside the UK. So they were schooling in Europe. They were doing medicine in Europe. And it was kind of all right. I also made my research that would you be able to practice in the UK when you do that? And yeah, I got testimonies from a lot of people that had done that. So I was quite, confident that if I go through that route, I'll be able to practice in the UK because obviously this is where I live now. So that is when I decided to sit my parents down and tell them that I've got some friends studying in Ukraine, so I feel like I want to go there to do the medicine. Because if I should do this 1 year access to medicine course again, how is it even guaranteed that I'm going to get into medicine? Yeah, because getting into medicine in the UK is the toughest. Like, it's really tough, really, really tough. So I was also thinking of that even if I do the access to medicine, how sure am I that I'm going to end up getting the medicine I want? So I decided to travel to Europe, to Ukraine, to do medicine.
Wow. All right. So can you tell us, I really want to know how the sitting went like when you sat down with your mom, told your mom, you studied biological science in Ghana for 3 years. You threw it away. I mean, they probably paid school fees for
they did.
3 years. You threw it away. They paid, I don't know how much it is, but probably expensive. 1 year access to science. You threw that one away. You trashed it completely, and then you sat down with them again, telling them that you want to go outside UK, that's Europe, Ukraine specifically, to study medicine. What was their reaction?
Okay. So I remember it wasn't an easy conversation to start because I didn't know how they were going to take it. But what I did was, before that, I prepped their minds.
Okay.
So what I was doing was, I was showing them my friends that were studying there, how they are doing and all that. You have to get tactical way to address these kind of issues. So they had an idea that, yeah, I've got friends. And so they start talking to some of them. And my parents are really friendly. Like they always want to know my friends. They want to have conversations with them and all that. So they did that. They knew how those people, my friends there, were doing, how the studies were going, all that. So that was afterwards I had to break it to them that, you know what, I feel like I want to go there to go and do medicine. And in their minds, I'm sure they were thinking, what's wrong with this girl? Yeah, because number one, I'm gonna leave the house. I'm gonna leave alone in a country I know no one. Yeah, and then that means I'm gonna be away from family. So I'm sure they got a bit scared, but at the same time, my parents are really keen on education. Like, if whatever you want to do regarding schooling, education, do it. They are really keen on it. But my mom, I remember my mom asking me, is it really necessary for you to go? Can't you get any other course in the UK to do? We've got nursing, so she started
She started naming them.
She started naming them. My mom is a nurse, so
Okay.
she started naming them. And then I was like, well, nursing is not a bad choice, but that's not what I want to do.
Yeah, everybody wants
Exactly,
something specific.
exactly. So I was like, no, I really want to do this. This is what I really want to do. So I think they asked me, so why can't you wait and try and see if you can apply in the UK? I had to tell them that, you know what, applying in the UK is really difficult, okay? So the things that you're going to go through, I wasn't ready to go through those things.
Okay. What was the things you were supposed to go through?
So in the UK, applying for medical school, you'd have to write an exam. So it's more like an aptitude test called the ucats. So you have to write a personal statement. And then the personal statement has to be extraordinary, because it has to catch the attention of the person reading it.
Yeah.
And then you have to go through interview processes, which I heard was a bit frightening.
Okay.
Yeah, before you even get an offer to study medicine. So the process was, it seemed a bit long and difficult for me. So I just didn't want to go through that. I wouldn't say on the side of my parents it was difficult for me to convince them. It wasn't.
Yeah.
I remember they even went to a conference with me concerning this European schools and all that. Yeah. We went together. I went with my mom and my dad. I remember that day.
Wow.
So yeah, during the conference they talked about, so it was through an agency. So I think it was the agency that did this conference. They talked about the different schools that you can study medicine in Europe, like different parts of Europe. So Ukraine is Eastern Europe. So because I knew people there, that's why I decided to go to Ukraine.
Okay.
Yeah, because I wanted to be surrounded by at least people that
you know
were familiar. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. With what I've known so far, I think a big kudos to your parents.
Yeah, they've been my number one supporter from day one.
That's amazing. So can you tell us more about your journey to Ukraine? When you got there, did you get any culture shock? And how was the whole process of getting into medicine when you got to Ukraine finally?
Okay, so I'll start from the process that was done by the agency. So everything was done by the agency.
Okay.
So it made things easier for me. You just have to pay them and then they would sort everything out for you. I went with my mom the very first day because she needed to go and have a feel of the place and see how the place was like.
That's Ukraine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think the flight from the UK to Ukraine is like 3 hours. So it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 hours. So we got to the airport. The very first encounter that we had was they detained us in the airport.
Really?
Yes, because I think mostly, that's what I heard from somewhere, that mostly when they see an elderly woman with a younger girl, they think maybe, kind of extortion, kind of.
Okay.
So they detained us a bit until the person that was going to meet us got to the airport. They also asked him some questions. That was when they let us go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So who met you at the airport?
So it was a friend. He's called Bossman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was already studying there. I think he was in his fifth year or fourth year when I got to Ukraine. Yeah. So it was through him and some other friends that actually helped me to settle in. Well,
Wow,
yeah.
that's amazing. If they
Yeah.
are watching this video, I think a big
Yes,
kudos
he's
to
a
them as
doctor
well.
now in Ghana.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, amazing. So,
Hmm.
when you go to Ukraine, how was the whole process of studying medicine like?
Um, I went in as an international student. So
Okay,
the school that
from the UK.
from the UK,
Okay.
and I wasn't the only person from the UK in that year. I think we were like 4, 5, or 6, kind
Okay.
of 6, I think. So yeah, we were just a group of, let's say, 5 or 6, and we were all international students. So the school that I went to is called Kyiv Medical University. So if you know Kyiv, Kyiv is the capital of Ukraine. So I was living in the capital city. So yeah, um, the school was a private school. It wasn't a government school. You would testify that the private schools were, they were given nice classrooms, nice equipment, nice education vibes, and all that. Um, so it wasn't that bad. They were teaching us in English as well because we were international students.
Okay.
At the same time, too, we had days that we do the Ukrainian language.
Okay. What's the Ukrainian language?
Ukrainian.
Ukrainian. So,
Yeah.
are you able to speak a little bit of it?
Uh,
Can you do some practice to the viewers?
No.
Maybe a Ukrainian is
I don't want to
watching.
disgrace myself. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's really shameful for me to say that I lived in Ukraine for 3 whole years and I couldn't be fluent in their language. Why? Because, as I said, the studies were being taught in English,
In English, okay.
and then I think the only thing that I was able to learn was the basic stuff that I would need when I go to the shop, or when I meet someone new, how I introduce
okay.
myself and all that.
Yeah. So when you meet somebody, how do you introduce yourself in Ukrainian?
Oh, so I think you say privet. So privet is like hello, kinda, yeah. And then if you want to, I don't even know if I remember. If you want to say maybe my name is, so you just say Menezvate Sandra Lane.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's that's what I remember.
That's
Yeah, I was
amazing.
actually learning the language, but then I feel I'm not. I'm not really good at learning languages, but I was really trying. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. So you got to Ukraine. You started learning. They were teaching in English. How many years did you study medicine in Ukraine? And how was it like?
Okay, so the Ukrainian medical education is 6 years in all.
Okay.
So I did 3 years in total. Why? Because there were some unforeseen circumstances that happened. So during my study, that was when the COVID happened.
Okay.
So obviously during COVID, we were not going to class. Everything, that was when the online-based education stuff started.
Okay.
So I was mostly at home. I couldn't come to the UK that much because obviously whenever you come to the UK, you have to go through, testing yourself, vaccination, all those stuff.
Yeah.
So I wasn't coming to the UK frequently. I was mainly in Ukraine, but then doing class online and all that. And then the second shocker that came was the war, which happened when I was in 3rd year. So I think that was the end of my education there.
Yeah. So the war actually happened when you were in Ukraine.
That's a whole different story.
A whole different story. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll come back to we'll come back to that one.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll come back to that one. So you studied medicine for 3 years in Ukraine.
Yeah.
And how was the teaching like? How was the classes like? Were you getting the vibe? Was it going great for you?
It was going great for me. The only thing I would say I didn't really like was you'd have to do more work yourself. It's not different here in the UK. The UK is like that. So it's something called self-directed learning. You'd have to do more work yourself. But at the same time, sometimes some of the teachers, they're not really fluent in the English.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it'll be a bit difficult for you to also understand what they're saying as well.
I really do understand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
There have been instances where I've seen people translating people's English to another person. So I can really understand
Translating
that.
English
To English, yeah.
right,
Yeah, because
yeah.
we've all got different accents, so
Yeah.
especially when it's not our first language, it becomes a problem sometimes when speaking it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So from Ukraine, the war set in whilst you were in third year.
Yeah.
And did you have the discussion with your parent that mom, like that, there's a war now and I have to come back home? How was your reaction when you told them this?
The funny part about this whole thing is I even didn't know there was a war.
Oh, you were in Ukraine, but you
I
didn't
was
know
living
there
in
was
the country, but I didn't know.
Okay.
Yeah. So why am I saying this? I was there. The atmosphere was fine. Everything was normal. We were going about with our business. So it was mainly my parents that were calling me because they've seen this news on BBC that this is what's coming. I was just living there. I wasn't listening to the news, nothing. The atmosphere didn't look like there was going to be a war.
Yeah.
Did you get it? So they were like, you'd have to come back home. And I was like, we are in school.
Yeah, fine.
I've got class, you know. I'm fine here. I've got class. I'm not even seeing anything like that. Like there's something coming, and also, I got some friends there that had lived there since I think was it 20. I think I went to Ukraine in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. So there were some people that had lived there from 2014 coming. And then apparently there had been a war in 2014, I think.
2014?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think there was a war in 2014. That's if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
So I tried to ask people that live there already that I heard there was a war before. How was it? I've heard there's a war coming. How is it going to be? Are we safe? And all they kept telling me was, oh, there was a war in 2014 or so, yeah. But then nothing really happened. We'll be fine, you know. Don't worry, we'll be okay. So that was what actually was motivating me. I was like, okay, fine, if we'll be fine, then that's it. But I never, because I've never seen war in my life before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my parents, I remember one Sunday afternoon after church, my mom called me and she was like, I've heard that this thing is getting serious. Can you please come home? I was like, Mom, I'm not coming. I have class the next day because it's Sunday. Monday I have class. I'm not going to come. And she was like, no, you have to come. You come. If within the week nothing happens, you can go back.
Okay.
I was like, okay. So that was when I started to search for flights back to the UK. And I found something strange. There were no flights.
Really?
All the flights were cancelled. I was like, what's going on? Is this thing real? Is there a war actually? Like, that was when I felt like something serious was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I decided to go to the airport the next day. I told my friends that I was leaving. And they were like, why are you leaving? There's nothing's gonna happen. Some people were even trolling me. Some people were saying, hey, DB4. Any small thing, you take a flight back, any small thing. And I was like, no, this is not even about that, okay? Like, this is about my safety.
Yeah.
And if this is how, especially my mom and her instincts, this is how she's feeling about the whole situation, I have to go. So I got to the airport, and then I was like, what flight is available to the UK now? Because I have to leave. And then they told me it's just one airline, Ukrainian International Airline. I was like, how much is the ticket? And they told me it was £500 plus. I was like, what?
As at that time.
As at that time, because mostly I would book a flight from Ukraine to UK for like at least £60. I'll get a flight back home.
And it was £500.
500 plus. I was like, no, there's something going on.
More than 5 times of the original.
There is something going on. So at that time, lo and behold, I was really lucky because I think I had come home during the short break to work a bit. So I had some money in my account that I had not touched. I was like, you know what, I'll buy this. Even if I go home and nothing happens, I know that at least I've confirmed, that nothing happened, I'm safe. So I bought the flight ticket. When I was taking that money to buy, I was crying within me. Like, I had to do it. I bought it, left, got to the UK safely. So I think I got to the UK on Monday. The next day, which was, no, I think it was the Tuesday, nothing happened. So was it the Tuesday morning or the Wednesday at dawn? I was sleeping. It was around 3 a.m. when my mom called me on phone to come downstairs. I came downstairs. And this woman was watching BBC News. And that was the first strike. And my mom was in tears.
Oh my God.
She was rolling on the floor, thanking God. Because that's why, till now, I use my life as a testimony, yeah? That whatever bad thing that has tried to happen in my life, God takes me out of it in a way.
Yeah.
So I was so happy and I was thanking God with my mom. And after that, I remember that I still have friends there. I had to call and check up on them. And they were all screaming and they were shouting. They didn't know what to do. They were asked to go and look for a bunker to hide themselves and all that. I was like, I couldn't go through this. I would not have been able to go through this if I were there.
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, so I was really grateful that at least my mom's instinct, made me come home.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was frightened because of my friends that were left there. So till now, I always thank God for taking me out of that, like in that way. And then, so I came to the UK. Studies still continued online,
Yes, studies
actually.
still continue. When you came back to the UK, you were still studying in Ukraine, but online.
But online.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. So you did 3 years in Ghana.
Yeah.
That one went waste. You did 1 year access course to science in the UK. It also went waste. You went to Ukraine because most of your friends were there, and you researched and realized that you can actually study in Europe and that you can practice in the UK as well. So you went to Ukraine to study for 3 years, and then there was a war, and then you had to come back home. But when you came, studies were still going on. You were still studying online.
Yeah.
What made you then? What happened? You were studying online. What happened?
Okay, so studying online, I think it got to a time that the war became very serious. So they had to put a break on the studies for students to find their ways out. So I think that was when I heard that some students had to go all the way to like different European countries. So most of them settled first in Poland, and then others went to different countries from Poland because at some point, I think if you didn't have the Poland visa or something, you wouldn't be able to stay there. Yeah, they gave them some time. So when it was up, they had to leave. Yeah. So I know the school that I was in had to get a place in Poland to establish a new school there for the people that were in Poland. So that time, I remember my mom was asking me, do you want to go to Poland to continue? I was like, no. I've had enough.
I'm tired.
I'm not traveling anymore. So at the beginning, I forced myself to go, but now, no. I want to be closer to family. In case of anything, I know that I'm still in the UK. So I told my mom that, no, I don't want to travel anymore. My friends that went from the UK to Ukraine, we all came back to UK. And they decided to continue from other European schools because they were given the opportunity to continue from where they stopped because of the war.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I think my parents had a discussion with me that if I don't want to start all over and I want to continue, I have to like travel to these countries. So they had Serbia, Georgia, Romania, like just these other countries. But I was like, no, I don't want to travel anymore. I don't, because of this experience.
Yeah.
I don't know where there's going to be war again.
You want to stay out?
I want to be where my family is.
Yeah.
So that was when I decided that, you know what, even me studying online with these people is not going to work, because I also had the thought that what if after getting this degree with them, the UK don't accept my qualification because they would say, oh, there was a war. And how did you get this qualification? Because there was a war, you couldn't do clinicals, you couldn't have the full experience of the whole education. So how are you going to practice in the UK? I thought about all of that and I was like, no, I'm not going to continue again. So I just have to find something to do again here in the UK.
Wow. So that's amazing. Finally, Dr. Lane is studying medicine in the University of Exeter in the United Kingdom. So I think she's in her final year, third year.
I wish. I wish I were in final year.
Yeah, you will get there very soon.
Yeah.
So she's in her third year now, and I want her to share her experience from first year to year 3 with us so that we can learn a lot from it as well.
So my 3 years, they've been a bit challenging, but I think so far so good. They've been okay. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because they have been different from what I experienced in Ukraine. So the 3 years I did in Ukraine, I would say they felt like more of a premed course, because what I'm studying here in the UK is really in depth, really in depth. So sometimes I feel like God wanted me to go to Ukraine to get a feel of how the medical course is going to be like. And then now I'm here, so now I'm not really having difficulties in, what I'm studying at the moment, because I feel like I had the foundation somewhere and then I'm building upon it here in the UK. So the 3 years so far, they've been okay. They've been challenging. So my mates, I would say, I always call myself a mature student because I'm older than my mates. Not all of them, but we've got some mature students as well. Some people that have already done some degree courses and they've come back to do medicine and all that. But I'm older than most of them, which I'm happy about because it gives me the chance to, go down to their level and study and learn more with them as well. Comparing my UK studies to my Ukraine studies, as I said, the UK is more in depth. Okay, so the first 2 years of UK medical school, it depends on the school that you're going to in the UK. Some medical schools in the UK are 6 years, like in Ukraine. Some are also 5 years. The one I'm in now is 5 years. So the first 2 years are more of like preclinical years. So you do more of the theoretical side, classroom, lectures, the anatomy, the physiology, the biochemistry and all those stuff. And then from third year through to your final year, you're more clinical based. So that's when you go to the hospital, to the GP settings and the community hospitals to do your clinicals. So that's where I am now. I feel like right now in third year, being in the hospitals, I am now actually appreciating what I did in first year and second year because we are putting that into practice. When I got to third year in Ukraine, I never started my clinicals there, and then the war started, so I had to come. So I can't talk much about that, but I'm just talking about my experience that I have here in the UK. It's been very good. I love how the studies is going and the clinical exposure, patient contacts that we've been getting. Really good. Okay, so as we're running up, I would like to advise you who is watching me right now. I don't know what you've been going through. I don't know how your education system has been. But all I can say is do what interests you. Do what you have passion in. If you feel like you've had passion in medicine, I'm not saying you should go through the route that I went through. Okay? Each and everyone have their own destiny and they have their own path through which they'll go through to get to, wherever they have to end up. I know mine has taken long, but I'm here by God's grace. But yours might not take long as mine. If you feel like this is what you want to be in, not only with medicine, please, anything that you have interest in. If you feel like that's what you really want to do, keep pursuing it. Do not give up, okay? Because who knows, maybe the time you give up might be the same time that a door was going to open for you. If you feel like you are getting tired with like the same process over and over again, there are other options that might even be where you're supposed to be, okay? So as they say, a key to a door might lead you to another, like opening another door. All right, so you trying different aspects would let you know what really interests you. Trust me, I had people that I started with. Now they've left medicine and they found something else that they love doing. Okay, so if you feel like you've gotten stuck where you are, I would advise you not to give up. Keep trying. And you trying doesn't mean you should keep trying the same thing. You can, try and see if you can get other avenues. Maybe you'd love what you want.
So you finally decided to start find something doing again.
Yeah.
So then what was the plan? What was the plan?
Okay, so the plan was me coming to how do you call it? Square zero base, whatever. So I couldn't think of anything. The only thing I could think of was to go back and do the access to medicine.
Ooh.
Yes. That was the only way to get into medicine in the country.
So let me understand it right. So you went back to get access to medicine.
Yeah.
For another 1 year.
Yeah. That's why I told you at the beginning, yeah, that my whole life has been school. Wow. Yeah.
So viewers, I believe you are very much encouraged because up to this point she has not given up still. She did 3 years in Ghana for biological science. She couldn't use that, so she has to trash that. She came to the UK and she went to a lot of colleges to inquire as to how she can get into medicine in the UK. And she was told that if she do access to sciences, she can do any of the science programs which medicine is related. She did that for 1 year and she realized that no, for you to get into medicine, you have to do access to medicine, not access to sciences. Then she did research and realized that when she goes to any of the European countries and do the medicine, she can practice in the UK. So she went to Ukraine to study and then probably maybe later practice in the UK. While she was in her 3rd year in studies, there was a war and then she had to come home as well. So when she came home, then she went back to do access to medicine for another 1 year. So let's do the calculation. 3 years in Ghana,
Please.
1 year access to sciences, 4 years, 3 years in Ukraine, 7 years, and then she had to do access to medicine. So 8 years in vain. She still never gave up. So if you have been wanting to do medicine, you have applied for maybe 1 or 2 years and you've still not gotten it, I don't think you should give up. I think you should still find other means or other routes of getting into the medicine. Get inspiration from her story. 8 years wasted. She still didn't give up. Well, there are more interesting things to know about Dr. Lane. So let's get to know more then. So Dr. Lane, you did the 1 year access to medicine program.
Yeah.
And what happened from there? What was the plan from there?
Okay. So whilst I was doing the 1 year access to medicine, so that was more like an online course.
Yeah.
So I did it from home. I didn't have to go to the college to do it.
Yeah.
And besides, there are a few institutions that do that. Yeah. So I found one that was really good. I had a really good tutor. She was really lovely. So what we used to do was she would give me assignments. Once in a week or so, we just have like a Teams call to see ourselves and, just talk about the progress of the course and all that. So whilst I was doing the access to medicine, I had to now register to go and write my UCAT. So the UCAT is...
So the UCAT that you didn't want to even go near.
Yeah, I just had to go through the process. I think the full meaning of UCAT is University Clinical Aptitude Test.
Okay.
Yes, so that's also a really difficult part of the whole process. So I think there's a threshold that you have to get, and each medical school has their score that they are looking for that test.
Okay.
So I registered for the UCAT. So while I was doing the access to medicine, I was also studying for that test as well. So I studied for it. The time came, I went to write it, and then I got the score. It wasn't like a really good score. It was like an average score. Because I've heard a lot of people have written like 2-3 times trying to get the good score. I got an average score, I would say, because it was my very first time. I got help from friends too. there's a friend that really helped me because she had written it before, so she knew what it entailed. So that with the ucats plus my personal statement. So I had to watch a lot of YouTube videos to know how to write a good personal statement, because I believe that the personal statement is the first point that the university, so is the first, I would say, the first thing the university is going to read to get to know you.
Okay.
Yeah. So it will involve you selling yourself in there. You'd have to talk about your interests. You have to talk about your experiences. You'd have to let them know that you are able to go through stress, because medicine is stressful.
Yeah.
You have to let them know that you're able to, like, multitask, and all those like qualities of you. You have to let them know. So I chanced on this girl who was applying to medical schools, and then she was sharing how she did her personal statement, and then the schools that she was able to get into. It was really good.
Yeah,
So
that was a YouTube video.
it was a YouTube video. I took
Wow.
inspiration from that, and then that's when I got the chance to, like, know how to write my own personal statement.
Yeah.
So after writing my personal statement, I sent it to some few people that I knew. So like my doctor friends in Ghana, some friends here in the UK, and to my parents to read through, just to make sure that it was on point. So I kept on doing corrections and made sure I perfected it before adding it to my application. So so those three things: access to medicine,
Okay.
UCAT score, and your personal statement.
Yeah.
Those three I applied. And I applied to 3 medical schools and
Okay. I was about to ask you that.
Okay. So 3 medical schools and 2 other schools. So I think in all you are supposed to apply to 5 schools.
Okay.
But you can't apply for medical schools for all. So I applied for 3 medical schools, 1 for nursing, and then the other one for there was this new course, cardiac physiology. Yeah.
Okay.
Cardiac physiology. So yeah, those were the 5 courses that.
Amazing. So which what was the schools that you applied to, if you could remember?
Okay, so I applied. So for the medicine, I didn't apply for London schools because I knew London schools were really difficult, competitive to get into. Yeah. I wanted to save myself that stress.
Okay.
So for medicine, I applied to Edinburgh, which is in Scotland.
Okay.
Kent, which is close to London, because I wanted to, be closer to home as well, and then to Exeter. So before choosing or deciding on these schools, I had to make my own research on like the kind of score they want for UCATs, the kind of score they want for A levels or access to medicine and all this.
Because at that moment you already had your UCAT score.
Yeah. Okay. So I just had to like make that research and know the kind of school that I was applying to. And then for the nursing and the cardiac physiology, I applied to was it London South Bank? No, it was Middlesex. Okay. Yeah, it was Middlesex University in London. Yeah, so I applied for nursing and cardiac physiology there as well.
Okay. Yeah. Assuming that if you had either the nursing or the other program, the name be complicated, I can't even mention.
Cardiac physiology.
Yeah, let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
So assuming that if you had those ones and not the medicine, would you have option to read them?
So the plan was not to put all my eggs in one basket. Okay. That's why I chose those 2 as optional, like, plan B. I actually got them.
Okay.
I got them. So I did interviews for them. I passed, and I got offers for both nursing and cardiac physiology.
Wow.
Yeah, I got them even before I started hearing from the medical schools.
Wow.
So with the medical schools, I got interviewed for 2, for the Edinburgh one and for Exeter. I didn't get interview for the Kent.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went through the interview and I heard back from the Edinburgh. I didn't get in and I was so sad. So the last hope was for Exeter. And then, so now it was between Exeter Medical School and these 2 that I already have. So I was like, if I don't get the medicine, I would go and do the cardiac physiology. Nursing was my last option. I don't know. Okay. I'm not saying nursing is not good. It's really good, but it's about the passion. Yeah. So I was even telling my mom at some point that if I don't get medicine, I might do one of these and still switch to medicine at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's really, really, really amazing. Dr. Lynn, tell us, once you are studying medicine in the United Kingdom at the moment,
Yeah.
are you working as well? If you are, how are you combining both? Because medicine is workload. How are you combining the workload from medicine together with the work that you are doing?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Because obviously, yeah, we cannot survive without money, can we?
No, we can't.
So yeah, I work alongside, but it's not like I work full time. Obviously, I cannot work full time. So mostly I work full time when we're on holidays. But then even the way the job system is, they are not allowing students to work full time when, like, during term times. I think if you're a student, you are only allowed to work 20 hours.
Yeah.
But when you're on break, when you're on holiday, you're allowed to work as, many hours as you want. So yes, at the moment I'm working, but as a bank staff. So bank staff is basically you being able to choose the shifts that you want to do.
Okay.
I'm really happy that I got that because at least I'm able to choose what I want to do. Excuse me.
Yeah. And to the viewers, let me clarify this a bit more. When I first came into the UK, when I heard about bank staff, I thought that they were working at a bank. So to the viewers outside, maybe this place that have no idea, is it's not working at a bank like money. It's not dealing with money. Just as she explained, it's basically being able to pick your own shift. So you are not being told when to go to work, but you choose when to go to work.
Yeah.
That's a bank staff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who named it that way though.
It shocks me as
The
well.
same way that we have bank holidays. Yeah. I think at some point I thought bank holidays was like the banks will not be working.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
But it's not like that. It's just, I don't know who named them. Yeah, so I work as a bank staff. I choose my own shift whenever I have time to. So I think currently because I've started clinical placement, I don't really have time for myself. So during the weekends, if I'm able to find a few hours to do some work, then I go in for it. Just a little bit of hours to do. So at the end of the month, I'll get something small that I can, use to support myself as well. Yeah. So that's what I do now.
Yeah, that's amazing. If I may ask, what specific work are you doing to support yourself at the moment with your medical experience?
Okay, so at the moment, because I'm not really qualified for like any advanced role in medicine, so at the moment I'm working as a healthcare assistant. So we basically help the nurses to take care of people, so mostly elderly people that have dementia. Not only elderly people at where I am, but we have other people that have mental problems and stuff. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. I feel like it's a really good thing to do because it's also more like you having a patient contact. So it has actually shaped the way I interact with patients on the ward. So yeah, that's what I do.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. If you want to like more, or if you want to know more about myself and my journey through medical school, my life in the whole, sometimes my family as well, you can check me out on my YouTube channel, which I believe the host is going to, put it in the description below. Just, come in and have fun and watch me do my thing on there. So the channel name is Sandra Lane. Sandra Lane, you find me on YouTube. And on Instagram is also Ikea Lane or Sandra Lane. And if you see this face on there, you know it's me. Where else? I think, yes, those are the two main platforms that I'm really active at. So if you come on my YouTube, you get to know the other platforms I'm active on as well. And on TikTok, it is Sandra Lane 50.
Viewers, I think we would all say a very big thank you to Dr. Lane for sharing her experience with us. We are really impressed and grateful. We find inspiration from your journey. I mean, it's not easy, the money, the efforts and everything. It's a big inspiration for some of us. I quite remember myself, I applied for medicine for the first year and I didn't get it, and that was the end of it. I gave up. And so if you are watching us right now and you've been doing some applications like 1, 2, 3 years, do not give up. Find an inspiration from Dr. Lane's story. She studied for 3 years away, 2 years, 3 years in Ukraine, another 1 year here and there. So together she did like 8 years before she finally got the medicine. So do not give up. If you've not done any application more than that years, more than the 8 years, I don't think you should give up. You should find inspiration from her story. We'll say a very big thank you for honoring the invitation and then sharing your journey with us. Thank you so much. We are really inspired. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so getting towards the end of this video, I'd like to say a big thank you to our hosts for giving me this opportunity again. And as I said, please do not give up. Know that you have God, and whatever that you're doing, just keep putting the passion and the love that you have to do.